your final turn-in of your poster. In this particular case, I have gone ahead and set up a poster as if I had just finished working on it. Now, admittedly, many of you will have items on your poster that extend well beyond the artboard itself, and that is fine. Don't get stressed out about that at all. Okay. And so what you're going to do is you're actually going to put this Illustrator document into an InDesign document. What you will note is these guides show you the actual 11 by 17 inch page. And you'll see that the image actually goes outside of that area, and it goes outside of that area on purpose. That is called a bleed. Okay, so I have bled it out, which gives me more room when I'm actually in InDesign to make minor corrections. If you make it exactly the 12 by or 11 by 17, it won't necessarily come through into the InDesign document with all of the bleeds intact, okay? InDesign doesn't understand the stuff that's in the outside copy space for an Illustrator document, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and set this to have a bleed. I'm going to come up here to File. Oops, I need to be in. There we go. I'm in Illustrator now. File. I'm going to go into Document Setup. And in Document Setup, you can see bleed is like the second option there. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it to give it a 1/4 inch bleed all the way around. That's a lot more than I need, but that can be helpful. Okay, so I've got a 1/4 inch bleed all the way around. Again, that was under File, Document Setup. Then I'm going to tell it OK, and you'll see this little red outline appear. That's the bleed settings. And it's okay that the image doesn't go all the way to the bleed settings. You shouldn't need a 1/4 inch. I just did a 1/4 inch as an example. Generally, a bleed doesn't need to be any more than 1/8 of an inch unless you have a printer that really, meaning, a printing place that really needs a lot of slop to work with, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I can either export this as a PDF, or I should be able to go ahead and do a save or a save as. Now, one thing before you do a save as, you will save yourself a tremendous amount of heartache if you convert things to outline mode, okay, which possibly you haven't done. You've got a lot of font possibly on your project, and every one of those is an opportunity for a PostScript error, okay? So what you may want to do is this. You want to keep the one that you're working on fully intact. So I'm going to do a File, Save As, okay? And I'm going to call this Final for Print. And I could use the number 4 as well for print to save some space. Okay, Final for Print. All right. Now, I'm saving this as an Illustrator document, so I'm not going to deal with the artboard stuff. Okay, this is after you've gotten feedback from all the other students and from me that say this, yeah, this is it. I am not going to work on this project anymore. So I'm going to do a Save As, Final for Print. Okay, I'm going to save mine to the desktop just so you can see. Okay, PDF compatible file, yeah, sure. Subset of fonts, okay, great. Okay, so what's happened now is your previous version is put back away, and now we have this as a different version. This is my Final for Print. And you're going to do a Command A or Select All, and you're going to come up here to Type, and you're going to go down to Create Outlines. Now, it's not available for mine because they've already been converted. Okay, but on yours, you will want to create outlines for all the type. And you can do it all at one time as long as they're not locked. So create outlines for everything. Okay, then you can go ahead and do another save. Command S. Okay, everything's great. Now I don't need this anymore, and I can actually close it. Okay, now I'm going to go to InDesign. So here I am in InDesign. All right, so InDesign. And now I'm going to create my 15 by 20 final document. Okay, Command N for new. This is a custom size, so it really doesn't matter what you type in. You know, right here if you want, we could go ahead and give it a name. Final holiday, if you want to, that's fine. Whatever you want to call it. Be sure your name's in the title when you turn it in. So the width is 15 inches and the height is 20 inches. Okay, it's one page. Column, gutter, all that other stuff doesn't matter. Okay, we're not even going to mess with that. So I'm going to create, and there it is. Okay. Now I asked you in the instructions for this final post to do the following. Okay, you have this 15 by 20 inch poster. Now my poster was mostly black. Okay, now I gave you the option of a 50% gray, a black, or a white large outside frame. This is simulating a matte. Okay, it's simulating matting for this project. All right, so for me, I am going to go ahead and I am going to grab the rectangle tool. Okay, and I'm going to click and release. Okay, I am going to make, just so you can see it, I would rather do this particular project in white, but I'm going to do it in gray. Okay, so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going with a width that is the same size as the page, which is 15 by 20. Okay, so there's my rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead and put it where it belongs, right here on my page. Okay, if you wanted to come up here and type in the 00 or whatever, that would be fine. See, there it is, 00. It's there. All right, now I'm going to fill it with 50% gray. Gray is not a color in InDesign. Black is a color, so I'm going to select black for my fill. Then I'm going to select a 50% tint of black. Okay? And there it is. It's done. This is my mat. It is simulating that I made a 15 by 20 inch mat. Okay, now we know that our frame, okay, that we're going to put our picture in is 11 by 17. So I'm just going to get my rectangle frame tool, okay, and I'm going to click and release. And I know it's going to be 11 by 17. There it is. Now to make it easier to see, I am going to go ahead and place. Now place is Command D, or you can go up to File, down to Place. And I'm going to go find my final for print poster. There she is. Okay, and you can see that in here that the bleed is still there. And I'm going to tell it OK. And it automatically should put that in there and center it for me. Okay. If you need to come up and hit any of these buttons, that would be fine. You shouldn't need to, though. Okay, so if I were to click on this, you would see, look at the brown on the outside. You can see that this has a bleed. It goes outside of this frame, and that's good. That's exactly what I want. Okay, gave me lots of slop to work with. Now, when you are matting something, the top and the two sides should match. Okay, the top and the two sides should match. Okay, visually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down. It looks like it's about 2 inches. And I'm actually going to leave it right there. Actually, if you look at it right now, if I were to go ahead and go to preview mode, it looks just about centered all the way around. And that's fine. It's because 15 by 20 isn't normally something that you mat an 11 by 17 in. I just decided to do it that way. This will allow me to print your posters later on and put them in frames if I need to. Okay? So I'm going to go back to regular mode. There I am. Now I asked you to put a liner on this thing. Okay? If I pull my stroke panel out so you can see it really, really clearly, okay, we are going to assign a stroke. Since this is black, I am going to assign what we're basically doing right now is building a liner for this project. So we've built a mat. Now we're going to build a digital liner for this project. Okay, so I know it's a 1/4 inch liner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come in here and I'm going to type in 0.25 and I have to tell it inches. So I'm going to hit space IN, return. Okay, which is an 18-point line. Okay, so that is done and that's in place. Now I asked you to put it to the outside. You'll see right now a line stroke is sent to the center. We want to align the stroke to the outside. And now I am going to switch the color of that stroke to white. Okay, right now there is no stroke. It's none. Okay, and it's none over here. All of this is none. I am going to switch it to a white paper, in this particular case, stroke. Okay, so now I have my 15 by 20 frame. I have my 11 by 17 poster, and I have a 1/4 inch liner. Okay, just remember for sure, a line stroke to the outside. Okay, that way you're not going to take away any of your poster. If you did it wrong, like made it go to the inside, you're going to end up possibly damaging some of your type. So don't do that. Send it to the outside. Okay? Okay, so it's ready to go. You might want to go ahead and do a final holiday save, okay? And I'm going to save it to the desktop. You save it wherever it is you save things, okay? Be sure your name is in the title, okay? And we're going to come up here and we're going to go to File, okay? And I'm going to go down to Adobe PDF Presets. I have asked you to make a high quality print. High quality print, there it is, high quality print. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to put my name in here so that I know that it's the right one. This is going to be the PDF. I'm going to save it to the desktop. I'm going to sell it save. I don't need to change anything else in here. And I'm going to tell it to export. Then I can hit a Command S for save again, and I am done. Okay, so I'm going to close both of these windows down. Oops, my calendar open. So this is Lewis's final holiday PDF. I'm going to go ahead and pop that open. Do a Command 0 so you can see it's sitting in there really comfortably. Okay, you can do a couple Command minuses so you can see it. There it is. All right, so then you're going to take this PDF and drop it into the Google folder for typography, and that will be your final project turned in. Okay, now next year in Typography 2, for those of you who are in that class, we are going to go ahead and finish this. We're going to make mailers for this project, so keep all your files. Keep all your files. Okay, we're going to make a mailer for this thing, and for a lot of students, this, with a few tweaks, this ends up being in their final portfolio. So don't throw this away. Keep this. All right. But anyway, remember that the term ends on Friday, and so get this thing in by Friday at midnight. So I hope that all was helpful. Thanks, and have a great week.